and welcome to our show today. It is my pleasure to have a new friend and colleague at my side to talk about employment and employment for Matey Javara. Matey, thank you for being here today.
Well, thank you for having me, Karen.
And don't be nervous. It can be okay and you can be great. Now, let me ask you this. What is your profession?
I went to school to become a vocational counselor, so someone who works with people with disabilities and employers to make sure that there is hiring diversity in the workplace. Right now I work for the Association of People Supporting Employment First. It's a national membership association with the mission that people with disabilities should be employed in the community in integrated settings.
That is good. That is good because so many people with disability need to work and need to be employed. And if they can find that kind of business to work in, then people who hire them know that they can do the job. And that is so good that you are here today. Hopefully everybody will learn a little from you. Let me ask you this. Why do you choose the kind of profession or work to go into?
That's a great question, Karen.
Thank you.
When I was in college, I took a position as a personal care attendant to a girl who lived down the hall from me in the dorms, and I helped her with activities of daily living. I helped her mostly in the mornings and in the evenings, and just getting to know her and what she was going to school for and her goals after college, I was like, I like this. I want to pursue this kind of work. So that's how I got hooked in. So.
Well, you brought up a good answer because so many people, when they are in college, they really don't know what people with disability go through. But when they stop and think and help that you did, you will find out that people with disability are just like you and anybody else.
Absolutely.
And I'm so glad that you brought it up because you might, whether you know it or not, maybe you may have inspired somebody to help someone in college or just, in everyday life.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah,
it's a great field, yeah.
Thank you. Now let me tell you, what does employment mean to you as a profession?
Well, I think employment can do a lot of things for people with disabilities and anyone really.
Yeah.
It's a means to be more involved in your community. You have more money to spend in your community and become involved. The employment workforce needs to represent everyone in our country, and that includes people with disabilities.
Absolutely, because there are so many friends that I know with disability who want to work, and they are working, but they cannot go over so many hours because of losing their government check. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, so that's a tough one. A lot of people with disabilities receive supplemental security income, or SSI, or Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, and both of those programs have their own set of work incentives. Work incentives are services and ways that folks can can try work, can make adjustments to their job tasks or hours or even income to see what might be best for them in terms of their total monthly financial outcome.
Yeah.
But each of those programs has such a unique set of work incentives that it is a very confusing process, and only does work affect those your cash benefit, it also can affect your health insurance, but it can affect your health insurance much differently than your cash benefit. So it can be very challenging for folks to manage that.
Good, good. Now, I know you are involved with APSI, and they deal with employment too. Could you tell the idea what APSI is and what you do with it?
Yeah, absolutely. So APSI is about 27 years old. It's the Association of People Supporting Employment First. We've gone through a few name changes over the years, but it's a membership association with about 33 members worldwide. We are the only membership association with the sole focus on career advancement and integrated employment for people with disabilities. We advocate in Washington, D.C., that's where we're based, and we also have chapters in about 39, 40 states right now, so we really work locally on the ground too and support our chapters to push the Employment First mission forward, both on the state public policy level, but also grassroots, and ensuring that people who provide services to people with disabilities are providing best practice.
Good, very good. Because I knew APSI was a big thing in North Carolina, but I didn't really know that it was national, and it's really good to have it in D.C. and around the country, especially when there are so many policies that can be out there for people with disabilities.
Absolutely, absolutely. And our North Carolina chapter has about 120 members right now. And just like our membership worldwide, it includes people who provide services to individuals with disabilities and their family, a lot of organizations that provide funding for employment services. So it's such a wide group of stakeholders who come together, who all work together to ensure that integrated employment's available for people.
Yeah, I'm so glad you are admitted this because there is a very informative program, and you may be inspiring people with disabilities to just go out and look for a job, and they may find a job, but they may not think they can continue to work because of their disability. But it's always good to find someone that like a boss that really can understand of people with disability.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's kind of you, Karen. That's very kind.
Thank you, thank you. Well, I'm talking from experience because I have had partner and supervisors that knew about disability. Then I had it on the other hand that they would look at me like, can you really do the work? Can you really be in this position? And I just kept pushing and, let them know that just because of my disability, that didn't mean I didn't want to work. Now, what is Employment First? And I know we have a committee. Can you tell me what it is and what your role is on the committee?
Sure. So Employment First, APSE's definition of Employment First is that people with disabilities should be receiving integrated employment services as the first and preferred option for all publicly funded services. So before anything else, any other segregated services are addressed, that integrated employment is looked at first. Ultimately, for Employment First to be a thing, is it must be adopted public policy wise, but also best practice wise. So there must be public policy and funding behind supporting Employment First, so behind supporting integrated employment for people with disabilities. Right now, there are about 46 states with some sort of Employment First activity across the United States. Of those, 32 have some policy directive, whether that's an executive order, actual legislation on the books.
Yeah.
There's 32. North Carolina is one that has action only right now, which is good.
Yeah.
And the chapter NC APSE, North Carolina APSE, and the Employment First Steering Committee are definitely two of the big driving forces behind that activity here in the state.
That is awesome. I didn't even know that, but that is good. Let me ask you this: how can people contact you or contact APSE or anybody connected with Employment First?
That's a great question. So I can be contacted by email by my first name, MACEY, at apse.org. So Macy at apse.org. Two great websites that I recommend folks go to is the National APSE website, and that is apse.org. And then the NC APSE chapter specific website, and that's ncapse.org.
Good. Good. Thank you, because believe it or not, we have people out there who do watch our show, and they do call the studio every once in a while to get more information. No, I'm glad you gave them your email.
And our membership information's up there, so we're always working on increasing membership and increasing the number of folks who are working together to push employment forward.
Good. Like on your board or your committee, how many people are on there that are working locally with people with disabilities to either get them involved with employment or just help them see what they would like to do for working?
Like the North Carolina specific chapter?
Yeah.
So there's about 120 members, and we have 12 to 15 folks on the board, and I would say everyone, no matter what, no matter who you are, what your role is, everyone's working towards the same thing. Good.
Well, that is good. I mean, this is a wonderful show. You are giving wonderful information, and thank you again for opening my eyes, because I knew about apathy, but I didn't know the background of everything. Now, you were talking before we went on the air about being in Blowing Rock at a conference. Was that a conference for apathy, or was that for Employment First, or what was it?
Well, I think the chapter is very synonymous with Employment First. So it actually was a chapter-specific conference. The NC APSE chapter holds 2 conferences a year, one in the fall in Blowing Rock to enjoy the beautiful mountains and the leaves, and that just like the spring conference brings together all stakeholders, anyone who's interested in advancing employment for individuals with disabilities, come to those events. So we had some folks from vocational rehab who were there. We had some service providers. We had individuals with disabilities and their families. So it really does bring together everyone. So the message that's coming out of the group is the same. And I think that's so important, that we can all come together with various backgrounds, various professions, and everyone's pushing the same message.
Good, thank you. Do you have any specific stories that you can tell without revealing any by name or whatever about employment or about jobs?
So about like an individual success story?
Yeah.
So I've worked with a number of job seekers with disabilities over the years. They all are pretty special and pretty important to me, because you do definitely work with everyone and they're meeting their own specific individual goals. But there was one particular individual who had been working in a shelter workshop for about probably over 10 years. And we worked with him for probably 6 months on doing some job shadowing, some internship opportunities in an actual job in the community. And he did get a job. He secured permanent employment in the community, working about 30 hours a week. It really matched his skills and abilities and his goals, and so that was pretty special to me to see him not thinking that he could find a job in the community to less than a year later securing permanent employment.
That is wonderful. That is a successful story, because not only did it probably make you feel good, it probably made him feel 10 feet tall, knowing that he could go out and work in the community and just contribute to society.
Absolutely, and to increase his financial stability meant a lot. He had a lot more choice.
Yeah.
He was able to be a lot more involved in his community because he could pay for things, he could purchase things, but he was also an active community member working at a local business.
Well, that is wonderful. Now, let me ask you this, how many people do you work with disability through VR? Do they come to you from VR, or do you and VR agency engage together? How do y'all work together?
That's a great question.
Thank you.
North Carolina APSE and APSE in general is an advocacy and professional development membership association. So we, for the most part, a lot of our members are vocational rehab counselors, and also, at the chapter level, partnering with VR to make sure that we are communicating, that we have that interagency collaboration. And because many of our members in North Carolina do provide services, so they do contract through VR. So having all parties as members just allows one more opportunity for collaboration and communication.
That is good, because I know when I was in college, I went to VR for my collective and for whatever reason, and I know VR helped me in a lot of ways. So it is very good to have them in your corner, because if you have something to come up about employment, I bet y'all can collaborate and communicate in that way.
Absolutely.
That is good to know. Let me ask you this. How many people do you think in North Carolina would like to have a job, but they can't find that particular job that fits them? What do you think about that?
I think there's probably many folks in North Carolina, not only in North Carolina, but across the United States who who would like to work in the community. And currently right now there's about 26% of individuals of working age in the United States who are working, and that's compared to 75% of people without disabilities, working age adults who are working. So that disparity is huge. And I think many people with disabilities who are working are underemployed. So they're working fewer hours than they would like to or they're capable of. And so to answer your question, I think there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people out there who I think would like to be working more or to be working in the community.
Yeah. Now, when you talk to individual through ACT-FIT, what kind of job for people with disability do they come and talk to you about? And that I can do this job, or I want to do this job, but how can I tell them that I'm capable?
So we definitely encourage working with meeting the individual's goals. So really getting to know the individual's skills and abilities, not focusing on disabilities or anything like that, but really truly likes, dislikes, what do you want to do? And so there are people out there, job coaches, job developers, employment support professionals, that they all fall under one umbrella. They all help people with disabilities obtain employment, but also maintain employment, and also connect with employers to truly understand their needs. What do they look for when they hire someone? They also get to know a little bit more about the environment and the culture so that they can truly find the best match for the employer and also the job seeker with a disability.
Yeah, because I know that I know friends and know other people with disability that have that support from a job coach or self-employment the border, and that is very good because I get that make the employee happy knowing that they got that support before they are let go on their own.
Absolutely, absolutely. And a job coach, when someone does obtain employment, they are there only if the employee with a disability needs them. I mean, really, if the natural way, if the way that the employer onboards someone, provides the training is working, then the job coach definitely steps away because it's important that the employer has that employer-employee relationship.
Yeah.
But absolutely, a job coach is there to provide any supplemental training, to break down steps, to help the employer come up with some reasonable accommodations. And really, a job coach is one of the most popular reasonable accommodations there is, and that's free. So, and a lot of accommodations that job coaches might come up with, such as turning a written task list into a pictorial list, not only help the employee with a disability, but also helps the coworkers. So many accommodations that might start because of the employee with a disability really are universally designed, and everyone on the job often appreciates them.
Yeah, and it's so important to have a job coach too, because they're not on, even though they may back away, I bet they still keep in contact and get they are needed to come back to give a little more encouragement if they employer with the disability that they are not doing a good job.
Well, absolutely. And how many times has your job, does the job stay the same throughout your time at the company? Hardly ever. It changes, and you're adding tasks, and you're getting promotions, and the job coach can come back and help with extra instruction if needed. But ultimately, the employee with the goal is the employee with the disability is working as independently as possible, given their skills and abilities. So it can vary greatly with job coaches being on the job 100% of the time, or just part of the time,
Yeah.
or even just once a week or once a month. So.
Yeah. Now, how many job coaches do you know that are directly involved now with maybe an individual? Is it a lot or is it a small amount? Do you know?
Like how many job coaches are currently like working with
Yeah.
employees? I don't know off the top of my head the exact
Okay.
number. I do know that it probably varies given skills and abilities and job sites and caseloads. But ultimately, the goal for job coaches is for them to not be needed. They want to be
Yeah.
able to make sure that the person can be as independent
Yeah.
as they can on the job.
Good. But the reason I ask maybe is because there may be somebody out in the audience who want to work and they have work, but they might have been let go because they did it as a support of a job coach. But if they know that they could get one, there is great information.
Absolutely. And vocational rehab is definitely the first step and first recommendation that I give folks who are looking for some assistance obtaining work, for sure. And there's also the Ticket to Work program if you receive Social Security benefits. So there might be an opportunity for assistance that way as well.
That is good because I know so many of my other friends that I know and that are working. They may or may not need Ticket to Work, but the ones that do need it, there is great information to have because Social Security, they want you to work, but they want you to, be helpful. But at the same time, they don't always know the circumstances about working. And when people without work, especially people with disability, have a job and they are making good money in the job, they don't want to stop. But sometimes they do because of government check.
Yeah, and through VR and through the WIPA, the Work Incentive Planning Assistance, in the state, folks can get benefits counseling. So, and it's free. To help folks better understand how to utilize their work incentives, what it means to start earning a paycheck, an increase in your paycheck, and how that all works together. Because it can be challenging, and unfortunately there's so many myths out there and horror stories of this happened to me, and everyone's benefit situation is so different. So it's so important for everyone to really understand their specific situation.
Yeah, and let me ask you this, Marty. Maybe I know. We got a lot of people that maybe trying to survey and come upon our show. Will you give your information one more time?
Absolutely. My email address is macey@apse.org. I recommend folks check out the National APSE website at www.apse.org as well.
Well, good. Thank you. Hopefully, people will see the show and they will, hopefully they will get in touch with you.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, we will talk more about employment for people with disabilities.
Excellent. A great topic for National Disability Employment Awareness Month.
Thank you. welcome back to our show today. It is my pleasure to introduce again Mr. Shaw for us because we are here to talk to about employment and people with disability working with disability on job. And Macy, I'm sorry again for missing your last name, but I hope you forgive me.
I'll forgive you. I'll forgive you.
It is so far.
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did that,
It's
but
fine.
but
You're not the first one, and you're not going to be the last.
okay. Before the break, we were talking about your contact information and about people with disability working. Can you tell me any more several stories? Because I know you must have a million of them.
Yeah, they're all great. But I really particularly enjoy working with young people in high school and helping them get their work experiences before they leave high school, because oftentimes in school, students with disabilities aren't asked, what do you want to be when you grow up, like everybody else. And I think that's changing. But I love helping them get their first work experience in an actual job site with an employer and earning that paycheck. And really, the more work experiences anyone, but particularly students with disabilities, can get before they leave high school, the better their chances are of landing that good job match after school, because they're going to know what they like to do, what they don't like to do, what their skills are, just like any other high school student and college student who's out there interning and getting those first 2 or 3 jobs under their belts.
Yeah, and it's so important to begin when they are, like you did in high school, because by that time they are ready to graduate. They may or may not go straight to college. They may want to work before they go back to school. So if they can have someone like you to be there and to help them find the goal or name what they would like to do, that would be perfect.
Absolutely. And when you're in high school, you might have interests, but when you try that job out, you realize it's just not for you.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important for any young person.
Yeah.
To
When I was in high school, I knew about VR, but it wasn't until I got through high school that I really began seeking VR. And if I had my way, I would have gone into journalism because I love to write and create. But my mom said, honey, you may not get a job, in that vocational field. And then I went into childhood development education, and I began to work with children through daycare and kindergarten.
Oh, wow.
But I really wanted to follow my passion,
Absolutely.
But you never know. It could be either way. You could get a job with something that you really like journalism, or you may not. It just depends on who you talk to or what direction you may take.
Absolutely. And you may think you really like something, and you try it, and you're like, nope, I don't want to do that for my career. Or yes, that solidifies that's where I'm going in life.
Yeah. And put the with a disability or anybody who finds that perfect job, they stay with it.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
because they know that they can do the job, they are happy, and they are happy with the people that they work with.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this. You said that Apathy is a national organization. Do you have anybody in that in Apathy who go all over like a person to check on each state or each committee or board?
So we have a very small team in the national office. We provide a lot of virtual support for our chapters, and we have a great board, a national APSI board, who have such a wide range of technical experience, who also support our local chapters as well. So we do travel around to our chapters, but if we can't, we can do so much more now with Skype and GoToMeeting and virtual meeting space, and that we try and support them to the best of our abilities on all types of issues, whether it's contacting local legislators. Helping them identify, good quality speakers to bring into their state, to speak with providers on best practice, working with self-advocates and their families to help organize, letter writing campaigns or getting the message out about the importance of integrated employment.
Yeah, well, that is good. Like and that is very helpful because some people with disability may want to begin a letter campaign on the right of employment, and they may not know who to contact.
Absolutely.
Or who to talk with. It's good to know.
Yeah, absolutely. And contacting your local legislator can be a little intimidating.
Yeah.
So, we provide an opportunity for folks to talk to others who have done it, which helps when you can get that connection and that information right from someone who's done it. So.
That is good. I really appreciate you coming because, believe it or not, there are people with disabilities out there who want to talk to legislators and who want to visit them, but they may be a little intimidated, and that is good. But they need to be encouraged to
Absolutely.
go and talk with the legislator and let them hear their voice.
Absolutely, and they're a member of that local legislators community. They're voting, so
Yeah.
they have just as much of a right to go speak to them as anyone else.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now you have been talking about best practices. Can you tell our audience what it is and how it is involved with people with disability employment?
Absolutely. So part of in our name is employment first. So the idea that people are employed and integrated employment opportunities in their community as the first and preferred option, and really I don't want to say the primary way, but probably the biggest way that folks go about doing that is through service providers. So through job developers and job coaches who help folks with disabilities obtain employment. And truly, we believe the best way to go about doing that is to really get to know the individual and their strengths, but also really truly understand the business need, and making sure that the business is hiring the person with a disability because of their skills and abilities, not because they feel bad or charity or whatnot. We really truly want to make sure that that individual is a value add to the business. And we also want to make sure that our job coaches are only there on the job when the person truly needs the assistance, because we want to make sure that the employer is able to effectively communicate with the employee, and that they really feel that the person with the disability is their employee, not the job coach. We want to make sure that the job coach is as back as much as possible, but also recognizing that a job coach might be there 100% of the time, and that's fine, and that is absolutely fine. So I think that's what we mean by when I say best practices as far as services go.
Yeah, because a lot of people, the idea may not know what you are talking about. So by you saying that, it may open their eyes and she is talking about working, but in another way. And that is good to know. Now, let me ask you this, Mandy. How many apathy people on your board that may have a disability, but they may not? And how do they, on your board, how do they engage with one another to get them all focused on one topic for people with disability?
Well, it's absolutely our goal to include, obviously, people with disabilities in our leadership, and we do that on the board through self-disclosure, but I'm sure there's also some board members who have disabilities who haven't disclosed, and everyone's included on the board. Everyone's made, not only on the national board but also on local chapter boards. People are supported and supported. Given whatever their particular needs are, whether it's getting the minutes out ahead of time, or making sure that there's a board member who might be sitting next to the person who they trust, who can kind of help translate if needed, or restate something that was said. So we definitely make an effort to include people with disabilities at all leadership levels in the organization.
That is wonderful, because I know that when I was involved with the boards dealing with people with disability, some of them listen really good, but then when the person with the disability were not there,
right,
then the other board member began to make decisions or talk like, disabilities were even involved. And I know I would be sitting there that when you are with a board that has decisions to make for people with disabilities, but you're not focused in that way. And that, to me, that is not a board.
No, not at all. I agree.
But when you include everyone on the board, disability or not, you can have a wonderful board.
Just like including everyone in the workplace.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. How many jobs do you think people with disability would like to have? I know a lot of people, or some people may work in restaurants or with children. Do you think they could? Do you think the job could be related to them, or does the employer know that they got to do some like work to help them do the job or make accommodation for them to work?
Well, we really are seeing that people with disabilities are employed in all different arenas, different careers. You know, in the past, it might be that people with disabilities are stereotyped into just specific positions, maybe entry-level positions. But I think now with job coaching and employers recognizing the value of hiring a diverse workforce, that we're seeing people with disabilities are employed at all levels of the company, in all arenas, in all types of fields. And I think the power of an internship, that work experience, is very powerful. Because it really gives the person with a disability, and any person, an opportunity to try a job, to try an actual job with an employer, getting feedback from them and working with coworkers. So
good, and that is so important to know that people with disability can work and they can do the job. It may take them a little lower, or they may need help, like you said, but they can contribute to work in many ways.
Absolutely, and people with disabilities are one of the largest minority groups in the United States. They bring a different perspective to the workplace, which is a true value add to an employer. That whole business, the whole customer base might change by really diversifying your workforce because of those perspectives that people with disabilities do bring.
Are you seeing more and more people coming at your conference that want to know more about employment?
Absolutely, we're definitely seeing an increase in the interest in integrated employment and employment first for people with disabilities. It's almost like this perfect storm is brewing right now.
Yeah.
We have almost every state in the United States having some sort of employment first action going on, and we have some federal legislation and rule setting.
Good.
That is going to increase the number of people with disabilities involved in their communities. It's going to increase Voc Rehab's involvement in the school systems, in the high school systems, working with younger people, and through the Achieving Better Life Experience Act, through the ABLE Act, allowing people to save more money for their needs. So it's this perfect storm that I see brewing for employment first. So we're definitely seeing an increase in interest for employment for people with disabilities.
Good. Now let me ask you this. What do you think people with disability would be with employment in the near future, like maybe down the road in 5 years or 10 years?
Well, I hope that employment, the numbers equal out. I hope that the number of people with disabilities working in the community is equal to people without disabilities working in the community. I hope that in the future, or I see it happening too, that people with disabilities are given the option, they're encouraged to find a job in the community just like anyone else. And not everyone in the general workforce is choosing to work, and that's fine, but they're being afforded the option to. And that's what I hope, and that's what I'm starting to see.
Well, thank you. Major, please come back at another time to give an update. And believe it or not, time is here to say bye, but I want you to come back to give more information on employment.
Absolutely, Karen. Thank you so much for having me.
You were good. You did a good job.
Thank you.
You were good. And Karen started saying, please don't be a catch but they don't stay in. Go out and look for employment if your heart desire. And if you need help, please call Mayday and let us help. They can start the day if you don't speak up, speak out in your community. Employment will never come to you. I would like to thank our sponsor and always remember to speak up, and let your voices be heard.